This is Viewpoint, a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of AM 1490 WHBB. We welcome your input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of AM 1490 WHBB. And now, here's today's Viewpoint.
And good morning and welcome into the Tuesday morning Viewpoint. For this Tuesday morning, January 20th, 2025, I'm your host, Randy Williams. How do you feel this morning? How was your Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, day off, or day on for some of us, and a day of service for others, right? And 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. This morning during the Great Awakening and also during Viewpoint, I've been featuring the 33rd annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast, sponsored by the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated. And if you were able to listen earlier, you heard all of the speakers, the main speakers. The only one that I didn't do was the health portion. The quality of that portion was not adequate. They switched where it was located. So, and you know me, I like to do it right, huh? And so maybe I haven't had a chance to go over the video. I think the audio on the video is going to be better for different reasons. But anyway, that's another story. And so also, let's see, let me back up because a lot went on. Okay, wait a minute. A lot went on yesterday. But before I get into that, let's go to the phone line. And I am going to, as time allows, play the speech that was given by Judge Vanetta Perkins Walker yesterday morning. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Turn your radio down, please.
Organization, when when I first got back here, we had a different organization that group emerged too. But they have always had wonderful programs. We have so many young people that I am so proud of. Now, I wanted to mention, we have those two stars that Mr. Otley and Ms. Erlene Locke has, and one of the children serves on the Board of Education. Of course, we know Virginia, the boy, can do everything. He serves as judges throughout the school system and a lot of other things. But I mentioned that because during the years when they first started the links, Miss Audley was working, Miss Larkin, Miss Irving Larkin rather, was working in the Clown County system, and she used to bring a lot of children, a busload of children, to the links breakfasts in the mornings. And they have had some tremendous programs throughout the years. And I just wanted, because you were talking about what's going on now, and a lot of us who are not as active as we were, it's just good to see that those programs are continuing to go on and to see the product. Ms. Larkin's children, Ms. Larkin retired a while back, but her children have retired now. So that just tells you Selma has continued to move on and on and on. Let me just tell you a quick note about the Barkers. Back when the Barkers was out in high school, he was so above many of his peers until he would tell them sometimes in school that he didn't have time for that stuff. He didn't have time. He was just so advanced and mature. Now, this is just from what I hear. People who grew up with him. I listen very carefully to people around me, and we have a lot of tremendous young adults that need to be the support that the community is now beginning to give to them. Thank you, Randy. That's my comment.
Okay, thank you for calling. In fact, Judge Walker is going to do a history. In her speech, she does a brief history of the links. And she mentioned Ms. Larkin, and of course, Ms. Bryan. Both of those are my church members at Brown Chapel AME Church. I've been meaning to say good morning and hello to my fellow church members at Brown Chapel AME Church and Reverend Strong. It's the Lord works in mysterious ways, but for 5 years, I was the music and communications person for Brown Chapel during COVID. From Sunday school and morning worship services and the music. But as the Lord would have it, He said, "Well, I need you somewhere else." To make a long story short, and now I'm doing, now I do Sunday mornings here at the radio station. So to make a long story short, but let me say good morning to my church family, Brown Chapel AME Church. And so with that, let us move on and hear the speech that was given yesterday morning by Judge Vanetta Perkins Walker.
Let's give them another round of applause. Most of our funding for this breakfast comes through the Black Care. So they make this us do what we are doing. And we thank you again, Dr. White, on behalf of your organization. And this is through a grant. Thank you again. Okay, at this time, we're going to move to our next section, the introduction of our speaker by Dr. Patricia Robinson. And our keynote speaker is the Honorable Judge Vanetta Perkins Walker, who is the District Court Judge of Dallas County. And we will follow that presentation. Will be the presentation of awards by Dr. Margaret Jones, Vice President of the Selma Chapter of the Links, and she will be presenting the award for the Citizen of the Year, Mr. LaMarcus Antoine Snow. Please come in that order.
It is my privilege to introduce a history maker, a dedicated public servant, and a woman whose life work reflects the justice and moral courage we honor today. The Honorable Judge Vanetta Perkins Walker. Judge Walker serves as the District Judge of Dallas County, Alabama, the first woman ever to hold a seat in our county bench. Her groundbreaking leadership is built on more than 22 years of distinguished legal practice with expertise in criminal law, education law, nonprofit management, and project management. Before taking the bench, Judge Perkins Walker served as General Counsel for Montgomery Public Schools, overseeing all legal affairs for the district and advising the superintendent and senior leadership on strategic planning, public policy, community engagement, compliance, and fiscal matters. Her career also includes service as a full-time prosecutor in the 15th Judicial Circuit, a part-time homicide prosecutor in the 4th Judicial Circuit, and years as a solo practitioner handling juvenile, family, and civil cases. Her commitment to the community is equally profound. Judge Perkins Walker has consulted with numerous nonprofit organizations on project management and strategic planning. And she is the founder of the Selma Dallas County Children's Policy Alliance, created to strengthen local advisory boards and improve outcomes for children and families. Her leadership is principled. Her service is purposeful. And her impact is undeniable. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our esteemed keynote speaker, for the 33rd annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast, Honorable Judge Vonetta Perkins Walker.
Thank you all so much. The devil is a liar already because I had a hot flash as soon as I was getting ready to walk up here. This 50 is something serious, y'all. That's why all of this health stuff that we're doing. Now I know that this ain't coming right now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's why I brought this up here. To our dynamic chapter president, Dr. Patricia Robinson, and all of the distinguished and acclaimed members of the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated, to Mayor Moss, and all of the other elected officials in the building. To all of our other friends and fellow builders of the dream in the room, I greet you in love and in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I stand before you today, not just as your keynote speaker, and not just as a member of the illustrious Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated, but I also stand here as a daughter of Selma. I stand here on this MLK holiday as one who has been called to serve and contend for justice. I know y'all eating, but everybody say justice. Justice. Say justice. Justice. Now, of course, that happens on the bench. But I've lived long enough to know that justice is a much larger conversation than what happens in the four walls of a courtroom. Here's my working definition of justice. Justice is the uncompromising requirement that every individual be treated in a manner that is equitable, that is fair, and that is moral. It is the sacred duty of upholding the law to ensure that no harm falls another. But justice also demands that where harm is alleged, it must be named and it must be acknowledged. And it requires that we take the necessary action to make things right, ensuring that both the accuser and the accused receive the morally right consequence merited by their action. Cornel West famously said, justice is what love looks like in public. Justice is what happens when leaders lead with love. Now let's take a look at our country today. What do we see? We see a landscape where the very foundation of justice is under siege. There is no love in the justice that we're seeing in our nation today. Over the last decade, we've seen a rising tide of bigotry, an unapologetic display of hate, disregard for the rule of law, and the persistent weight of oppression and white supremacy reemerging. We see a nation that is no longer considerate of the least of these. We see a nation that prefers its own comfort over the difficult, transformative work that true justice requires. Everybody say justice. Justice. We see systems that would rather ignore harm than name it. When I look at the state of where we are in this nation, the fragmentation, the blatant erosion of rights that our ancestors, my elders, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, my grandparents, your grandparents bled for on that bridge in 1965, this is hitting a little different for us here. And when I see the attempts to silence the truth of that history and reverse the liberties that our ancestors fought for, it ignites something in me. And that's why I stand here today with fire shut up in my bones for the justice that our nation and our community is still crying out for today. Folks, we are not here for a social gathering. We are here for a spiritual and civic assignment today. I am Judge Vonetta Perkins Walker, and it's an honor to be with you here today. This morning marks the 33rd annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast hosted by the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated. 33 years is more than a milestone. It's a testimony. It tells us that this chapter, the illustrious Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated, was not just built for a season. It was built to endure. We are built to stand the test of times, to weather the storms of history, and to carry the weight of a dream that is still unfinished. And that dream is one of liberty and justice for all. And it is the dream of a thriving community here in Selma and Dallas County. Our theme today is 3 decades, one dream, strengthening our community. And because we are living in a moment where the progress we thought was permanent is being challenged, because we are seeing a world where the rights our elders bled for are being dismantled before our very eyes, because the needs of our community and culture right now are so very urgent, it is clear, folks, that we still have work to do. A work that cannot wait for a more convenient season. We are being called to stand in the gap again right now, yet again, as so many have done before us. And today, in preparation for this urgent call to fight for justice and have true servant leadership that leads with love, we are going to remember, we are going to strengthen, we are going to recommit, and we are going to move forward together. We're going to remember because our memory holds our history and legacy, and learning from what we remember is our responsibility. We are going to strengthen because we cannot transform the world until we are anchored in our own power. We are going to recommit because the call of our time requires a new decision and a new commitment. And we're going to move forward together with vision, with courage, until Dr. King's dream, until our ancestors' dream, our promised land, the land that God created us to have, until that dream becomes a reality. Now let's go back and remember. We begin, memory is the map for our mission. And the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated has a long storied history of leadership and service in Selma and Dallas County. And the other Black Belt counties in Alabama. I and every other dynamic servant leader in our chapter stand on the shoulders of our past presidents who led with excellence and left a roadmap for our success. Our chapter was born in 1995 through the vision and labor of Miss Ludell Bryant, our founding organizer and chartering president. Miss Bryant understood something. She understood that we would need vision to lead this chapter. And over the next 3 decades, that leadership requires vision. She saw that our youth needed more than just programs. They needed survival skills. They needed self-esteem. They needed self-motivation. She saw that our elders needed more than encouragement and acknowledgement. They needed care. They needed dignity. They needed connection, and we needed resources. She saw that Selma needed more than just symbolic gestures. We needed intentional, sustained, faithful service. She laid the foundation. I see her. I want to pause. Can we give her a hand? I thought I saw you come in. You know I can't see up close and far away at the same time. I want to honor that. She didn't just build a chapter, she built a house. And she built it on a foundation of sisterhood, friendship, and servant leadership. She also understood that she was but one link in a continuous chain and passed the baton to an amazing legacy of women in leadership who carried this vision of friendship, perfection, but with faithfulness, with integrity, with love, and with courage. So let's go on the record and let the record testify of the faithfulness of our leaders. After our chartering president, next on the record we have the baton passed to President Gloria Smith from 1998 to 2002. I need a napkin. I'm happy. Y'all work with me. I'm fired up. I don't want to be sniffing through this message. So we're going to make it through these hot flashes, this cold, and all of the above. Because I really do literally have fire shut up in my bones. It's time. President Gloria Smith expanded our work by securing the grants that sustain programming for our youth and elderly, including but not limited to the support for the Selma Youth Development Center and physical fitness projects at the Epworth House. She also initiated the corporate tables for this very unity breakfast, inviting the community to be accountable to itself and ensuring that we would serve with sustainability and not just passion in the service of scholarships to our students. Next on the record, we have the baton passed to President Wanda Griffin Maxwell from 2002 to 2006. President Maxwell led with courage into the hard things. When youth violence threatened our streets, she responded with strategy. When Hurricane Katrina devastated our region, she led the disaster response. She also created the Teen Summit, bringing teens together from all area high schools to discuss problems, issues, and solutions to the rising tide of adolescent violence. She created this space to give our young people a voice and help them find their power. But next on the record, we have the baton passed to President Nancy G. Sewell, 2006 to 2010. President Sewell understood that excellence required infrastructure. She secured a cardiovascular grant and implemented Mission Possible, a program so effective in addressing health disparities that the Links Incorporated nationally recognized our program for best practices. The baton was then passed to, on the record we remain, President Pinky Platt, 2010 to 2014. President Platt knew that strength is both internal and external. She strengthened our internal infrastructure while externally piloting the kids edition of Project LEAD, teaching healthy eating and violence prevention to young people, and partnered with Selma's First Lady on this Let's Move Selma project. She understood that you cannot sustain service if friendship is fractured. She knitted us together internally so we could be a force of nature externally. And for your service, ma'am, we thank you.
Yes, amen.
Next on the record, we have the baton passed to President Charlotte Griffith, 2014 to 2018. President Griffith bridged our legacy with the future. She established our Teen Career Academy. She created the yearly teen reenactment of the 1965 Voting Rights Act passage, ensuring that over 700 students understood that the dream is not just history, it's a map for the mission. She was the bridge builder. She made sure our children knew that 1965 Voting Rights Act was not just a museum exhibit. It was an assignment for their own leadership. Next on the record, we have the baton passed to President Dorothy Barnes, 2018 to 2020. President Barnes stewarded excellence by expanding Heart Links and Links in Pink. She achieved all-star chapter recognition and led with a competence that proved excellence is simply faithfulness lived out with discipline. Next on on the record, we have the baton passed to President Evelyn Evans, 2020 to 2024. President Evans guarded our continuity through a global pandemic. During these tough times, she made sure the heart of this and ensured that friendship and service did not disappear when gathering became impossible. She oversaw the creation of our history book, a testimony that even in crisis, we do not and did not forget who we are. On the record today,
Amen, sister.
on the record today, let the record reflect that our current president is Dr. Patricia Roberts. She has taken the baton. She even now is leading us into a new season where the dream is being renewed and the work is being deepened for a new generation. Under President Robinson's leadership, we have, let's call the roll, the Black Care Project, hands-only CPR, healthy heart-free screenings, book drives, chronic kidney disease prevention campaign, Black Family Wellness Expo, Walkathon for Healthy Living, voter registration engagement, STEM Summit, Sickle Cell Walk, breast cancer awareness programs, youth programs focusing on bullying, prevention, financial literacy, college readiness and career development. We have over 32 acts of kindness totaling over $8,000 in extended, intentional, compassionate acts of outreach under your leadership. We have over 45 educational projects advancing awareness, empowerment, and enrichment across our service areas, and we have awarded over 20 scholarships to deserving students whose futures will be shaped by our investment, and we will do the same today. Y'all gonna have to do more. Work with me, I know you're eating. Honor her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me calm down. Y'all know me. Each era has been bound by one dream. Service to mankind carried forward with faithfulness and with love. Each of these women connected their link to a continuous chain of friendship and carried the vision forward with integrity and with courage. Why must we remember? Again, because memory gives us our map for our current mission. And each generation must pay its debt for freedom and liberty through service to our community. So we remember, but we must strengthen. And here is where the work deepens. Because we cannot strengthen the community without first strengthening ourselves. The people that are doing the work in this community, y'all know what? We matter to. We matter. And we do not lead outwardly without being formed inwardly. We have to look at these women, our legacy of leadership, these builders, not to just admire them from a distance, but to draw strength from their blueprints. We must strengthen ourselves by remembering what has always been true. When we are rooted and grounded in love, when we are grounded in faith and bound together in purpose, we have the power to transform Selma and Dallas County. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but right now. And this is where Black women have always led the way. With wisdom rooted in experience, clarity shaped by struggle, and a togetherness that is not just sentimental, but strategic. This strengthening also means intergenerational leadership and shared responsibility. It means refusing fragmentation in a time that profits from division. We strengthen ourselves so that we can strengthen our organization, so that we can strengthen the community. By starting with our children. Because when the children are well, the community is well. Now we must answer the call of our time and recommit. Because every generation is summoned to the witness stand of history. And today the question is simple. What will your testimony be? This is not the time for admiration without action. This is not the time for honoring legacy while shrinking from responsibility. This is the time to recommit. And hear me. Recommitment is not a feeling. Recommitment is a decision. It is choosing responsibility over comfort, purpose over your preferences, and the collective good over your individual ease. And I need us to understand something. Selma needs us right now. The place where the dream was paid for in blood, but this dream is still being fought for right now in real life. Because when we look around today, we don't just see challenges. We see urgent needs. We see fragmentation. We see systems that are strained, families that are stretched, children that are trying to grow up in a world that keeps shifting under their feet. We see the kind of pressure that can make a community tired, and the kind of weariness that can make people settle for survival instead of fighting for transformation. Selma, we buried too many. We've cried too many tears. We're watching too many families break under pressure. Selma has seen too much violence, too much confusion, too much heaviness. But I came to tell you something today. We are not a defeated people. We are not a hopeless people. We are not a people who are just going to throw up our hands and say that's just how it is. Absolutely not. We are a people of faith. We are a people of fight. We are vision. We are a people of service. We are a people of love, and love is not weak. Love is not passive. Love is not quiet. Love is disciplined. Love is organized. Love is courageous. Love shows up and love stays. And we must recommit to leading with love. Today we do not have the luxury of disengagement. We do not have the luxury of waiting for a more convenient season. Because the truth is the very foundation of justice is under siege. And if we are not careful, the very rights that our elders bled for, the dignity that they marched for, the future that they demanded, can be dismantled right in front of us while we are still holding breakfasts and having anniversaries and celebrations. This is why the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated exists. Not just to gather, but to lead and to serve. Not just to celebrate legacy, but to carry it forward. Not just to honor Dr. King's dream, but to strengthen the community that still needs that dream to become real. Dr. King reminded us that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. But service requires discipline and leadership requires courage. So we've got to do more than just honoring our past leaders. We must become the kind of leaders that they were. We honor them not just by applauding their work, but by continuing it. We honor them not just by preserving their memory, but by embodying their faithfulness. So today we recommit, not quietly, not passively, not just as a traditional performance, but with the intentional resolve, folks, that this hour seriously demands that we will show up, we will stand together, and we will do the work, and we will carry this dream forward until justice is not just a story we tell, but a life we live. And so we move forward, not disconnected from our past, not weighed down by it, but guided by it. This is not just history here in Selma. This is holy ground. And something beautiful is happening right now. Leadership is being passed to a new generation. The world is shifting, and those of us who were raised here, who were trained here, and who were formed here did not return back home by accident. We came back because we were built for this moment. We were taught by women like Nancy Sewell and by leaders like Dr. F.D. Reese, and by this very chapter, that leadership is not a title, it is a spiritual assignment. And let me make this plain. The dream of justice for all and a thriving community does not move forward on its own. It does not have its own legs. It has ours. It moves when we move. It rises when we rise. It lives when the women of vision choose courage over comfort again and again and again and again. So yes, we honor the past, but we cannot live there. We're being called out for such a time as this to figure it out yet again and to yet again make a way out of no way.
That's right. That's right.
Which means this moment, we've got to recommit to the work in our homes. We've got to recommit to the work in our homes. I ain't about to go off script, but I want to. I got a whole preach in me about this and what's happening in our families. We've got to recommit in our homes, our schools, our churches, our courtrooms, our boardrooms, our neighborhoods, and in every place that our children are watching to see what leadership looks like. You don't have to be perfect. I'm the queen of not being perfect. But I repent, and I'm trying, and I'll stay in God's presence until He makes me over. Because our children are watching us, y'all. They are listening. My babies. They're my babies. It's like we are watching. We're listening. And they're learning from what we believe, not just from what we say, y'all. They're learning from what we can actually build. They're watching what we do. So today I'm not asking for applause, although I appreciate it. I'm asking for alignment. We can celebrate, but I'm calling for a commitment. We can remember, but I'm calling for another movement. This is the charge. Let us remember faithfully, strengthen intentionally, recommit boldly, and move forward together. Not as spectators, not as critics, although I'm beginning to love those. It just pushes me in my prayer closet further. Not as people who can quote a dream, but as people who can carry it. Because Selma doesn't just need another program. Selma needs people who will stand, who will serve, who will work, and who will stay. And if the dream moved then, it can move now. So let it be said of us that when our generation was called to the witness stand of history, we didn't hesitate, we didn't hide, we didn't wait, we moved. 3 decades, one dream, and by the grace of God, we will not let that dream die in our hands.
And that was the keynote speaker yesterday, Janetta Perkins Walker. Okay, and also they afterwards announced that there were 20 scholarships that were given this year. Attorney Jeffrey Robinson and Dr. Patricia Robinson scholarships, the Gloria F. Smith Memorial Scholarship, the Ludell Bryant Leadership Scholarship, the George Patrick Evans Memorial Scholarship, and the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated Scholarships. 20 youth were given scholarships also on yesterday, and a host of other links were involved. Also, I said earlier, I said hello to my church family, Brown Chapel AME Church, but I should also point out that I also have another church family, St. Paul Community Methodist Church. You know, originally St. Paul was an AME church when I was growing up, and most of my childhood and some of the early years of my teenage years, I was a member of St. Paul Methodist AME Church before it made the transition to a community church where Reverend Joseph Coleman is now the pastor. Oddly enough, Reverend James Jackson was pastor of St. Paul AME Church when I was growing up, and later he became pastor of Brown Chapel AME Church. My grandmother made me promise her that I would become a member of Brown Chapel because she was very, very much involved in the Alabama AME movement. I put it to you like that. In fact, her and my grandfather and a few other people, the Todds, you know, in the Sardis area and out in the rural counties, built an AME church. You know? But that's another story. I just wanted to say good morning also to my other church family, St. Paul Methodist Community Church, where Reverend Joseph Coleman is the pastor. You know, during the COVID-19, I don't usually say this, but I guess it's important that you need to, for 5 years, every Sunday, I didn't miss a Sunday now, between Sunday school and the regular worship service, and also playing and doing the music and helping implement the worship service. I did that for 5 years. I said I had to look back and say, wow, you know, didn't miss a Sunday, but now I got more than I'm ministered to I've got all kinds of ministries. Here at the station, New Covenant Presbyterian Church. I hear their sermon. They have some excellent sermons. Who else? Valley Grand Baptist Church. I'm back and forth between the two. Brother Robert Walker. Look, so I don't miss anything. And of course, Morning Star. I go on Sunday evenings. I listen to. I have to listen. Not have to, but I do. I have to monitor Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. So the Lord says, He says, you're going to get plenty of ministering to. Even if you do miss I'm not able to go to Sunday morning worship, and I certainly can't on Sunday morning. Oh my goodness, the Garden of Eden Bible Ministry Sunday school lesson, excellent, right? And then Reverend David Petway and Minister Jimmy Coleman Sr. and the Silver Echoes and Elder Nelson Waters. So I'm not missing anything spiritually. That's for sure. Let's take this break, and I'll be back with more right after this.
It's a local family-owned company that takes pride in taking care of your tire and automotive service needs. Whether it's your car, truck, camper, RV, trailer, or more, we've got you covered. See us first at 2897 Citizens Parkway in Selma. For better service, quality, selection, and more, we've got them. Come see them. Our deals you won't believe them. Meadows Tire and Automotive, where service matters most. Call or text us at 334-875-7276 and online at meadowstire.com.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
There are only 4 seasons, and flu season does not have to be one of them. At the Selma Doctors Clinic, we are here to help keep you safe during this flu season. We're offering flu shots daily from 8 to 9 each morning and 1 to 2 each afternoon. Call us today at 874-9064 to make an appointment for that annual flu shot. Selma Doctors Clinic is located at 509 in the beautiful historical district in Selma. We have Dr. Park Chittum Sr., Dr. Dr. Daniel Clower, and our nurse practitioner, Mary Elizabeth Schweitzer. Call us today at 874-9064 to schedule an appointment for your flu shot. And remember that walk-ins are always welcome. We are the Selma Doctors Clinic, where we are always here for you.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-smoker can get $1 billion of coverage for $75 per month level rate for 10 years, or a man age 50 non-smoker can obtain $500,000 coverage for a month premium of $110 level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call Term Busters today for a quote at 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Rate and availability may vary by state. Sample quotes based on preferred non-smoker. Underwriting and exam required. Call 1-800-908-7636 for details. Paid for by Robert Levenger Insurance Agent. 1490 WHBB Selma.
Hey neighbor, you ever endured a horrible toothache for several days? You call the dentist office and they can't see you soon at all? Or worse, you find you can't afford the treatment now anyway? Well, won't you listen up for a minute? Doc Ron, the downtown dentist of Prattville for so many years, has relocated his office to the suburbs of Otagoville. He's downsized his office and even downsized his prices. But he still has the same dedicated concern for his patients. At his new office, Doc is stressing prompt pain relief and budget-friendly tooth replacement. So whether you got a small problem or looking for a total rebuild package, you call the Dirt Road Dentist now. That's Dr. Ron at 365-2238, the Dirt Road Dentist. Just 27 minutes from the Selma city limits.
Dr. Ralph Redd and the staff of Alabama Vascular Specialists are proud to announce they are now operating at their new Selma location on Thursdays. Alabama Vascular Specialists continues to grow and is now at 2117 Broad Street in the former Lightfoot Chiropractic office across from Selma High School. This newly renovated location, Alabama Vascular Specialists, will enable Dr. Redd, Dr. White Giddens, Dr. Tan, along with their entire staff, to better serve the patients of Central and West Alabama. If you or someone you love suffers from poor circulation in your legs, from symptoms of PAD, peripheral artery disease, you should contact Alabama Vascular Specialists as soon as possible. No physician referral required. Telephone number 334-801-9952 or alabamavascularspecialist.com. Growing to better serve those in need of vascular treatment and surgery. Alabama Vascular Specialist.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Tuesday morning, January 20th. And so also the Selma Center for Truth and Reconciliation, they gave away clothes yesterday in spite of being in mourning for Mr. Mark Miles. And Ianka Sanders Jackson and Lydia Chapman were out in the cold in front of the Bosco Center, and there was a lot of folks getting needed clothing. Also, of course, the annual Martin Luther King 26th annual Safe Haven march took place from Brown Chapel to the foot of the bridge, and they were there for a couple of hours. But also Walk Across America. They were prepared to feed 500 people. I don't know how many people they actually fed, but it was a lot of them. And I did get a chance to interview the founder, and he's walking across America. Let me do this. Let me play the interview so you can hear and see what he had to say.
I understand you've been walking across America.
Absolutely. I've been walking across America. We started September the 1st in New York Times Square. And now here we are in Selma. We got to make it all the way to LA. We got till September 19th.
Why are you walking across America?
So we're walking across America because we're trying to let everybody know that no matter how bad your block is, every block in America can make a comeback. we're from Chicago on the south side, where we're making sure that our block, O Block, King Drive, makes a tremendous comeback. We're transforming the neighborhood to show the world what can be done when everybody puts their hands together, work hard. Don't worry about the government, because they're not going to save you, but work hard, everybody come together, and you can make things happen.
So how have you been received in the places that you've been so far?
We've been received great. We've had great parties in Baltimore, D.C., Atlanta, all across America. It's been a wonderful blessing. Being able to meet so many different people, being able to talk with so many various people from different walks of life has been amazing.
And why did you choose Selma King Holiday?
So we didn't choose it. We mapped out where we were going to be, and we didn't even realize that on this day we would be in Selma. So we just say God sovereignly planned it that way, and it worked out good, because there's no other place I'd rather be on King Day than Selma.
Anything you'd like to say to our audience?
God bless you. Continue to pray for us. Look us up on Project Hood, HOOD, projecthood.org.
And that was yesterday, and actually that was done after. I had a long day yesterday. That was after the after the caravan in March that ended at the foot of the bridge. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Okay, that caller is gone. And finally, in fact, I think I'll have enough time to do this. The other thing that took place on yesterday, towards the end of the the 26th anniversary march, Ianca Sanders Jackson came. There's been a lot of interest, of course, in the community about Mr. Mark Miles, and yesterday I asked them if they wanted to say anything, and she's obviously affected, as many of us are, by his death. But he was also a co-worker, and she was able to kind of make a statement on yesterday at the march, and I'm going to share that with you now. And it wasn't a long statement, but I'm glad she did say something on yesterday. Let's see here.
Don't ask me what happened. Ask me how you can join the fight for light. Don't tell me you're sorry to hear that. Tell me you're ready to do this. Don't give me your condolences. Show me your compassion through action. I am devastated, but determined. Sit with us in our grief. Pray with us for our healing. Work with us for our deliverance and restoration. Better Selma.
Thank you so much.
And that was Ianca Sanders Jackson with the Selma Truth and Reconciliation Organization, commenting on the death of Mark Miles. Viewpoint, you've got less than a minute.
Again, about Mark Myers.
Miles.
Oh, the good guy, we have watched up when we up. We have admired his progress. We admire his courtesy and love for his community. I was just devastated, and I didn't find out until on your program on Sunday morning, which was a nice program, by the way. So it just hurts me so bad. We are right. This is a charge for us to get to moving. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Our guest tomorrow morning, scheduled guest, Dallas County Probate Judge Jimmy Nunn, coming in on tomorrow, Thursday, City Councilwoman Janie Thomas. And you have yourself a safe and enjoyable warm day as it gets warmer. I'll see you tomorrow morning, the good Lord willing, 6 to 8 for the Great Awakening, 8:05 for Viewpoint. Stay tuned for Fox News on WHB Selma. It is 9 o'clock.
There is a sell-off on Wall